Welcome back to Cocktails and Colts. I'm your host, Tyler Holmes, and this is Jordan.
It is. Welcome back to.
I'm so sorry. My
You're like,
microphone, I realized, was like too close to my mouth, so I moved it. So I didn't breathe on you. Okay,
well, I appreciate it.
take two. Welcome back to Cocktails and Colts. I'm your host, Tyler Holmes, and this is Jordan.
Jordan Tyler, actually.
Jordan Tyler Holmes.
Tyler H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes, you smell like smegma.
Mm-hmm.
What are you drinking?
I don't know. Oh, Belgian dark ale.
Ooh,
It's from Unibrow.
Unibrow.
Unibrew or whatever. It's a from Quebec, I think. Is it? Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, Quebec, Canada. So it's like French Canadian words. Trois pistoles. I don't know. Three pistols.
Three pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Does it taste like three pistols?
It doesn't taste like any pistol, thankfully. I never had a pistol in my mouth, though, I should note.
You probably should not do that.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm. Or you may end up on a podcast.
I may end up on a podcast that YouTube restricts
Oh gosh.
for
Yes.
saying words that, you know.
YouTube restricted one of our podcasts, so it probably didn't alert you that the Heaven's Gate podcast came out. So we will try to be more careful about the words that we use because it put warnings on it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would like to watch it, it is on the page. Go to the videos and find the Heaven's Gate one, and you can watch it. It's very good. We have a lot of listens on the audio version because it didn't restrict it there. The video version it restricted on YouTube because they did not like our choice of words that are just normal words that have to do with the story.
Or probably the amount of time we said them, I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know. But yeah, there's a whole warning with like the hotline and everything you can call if you're having troubles.
Mm-hmm.
I've used that hotline before. And twice I had really bad experiences, and once I had a good experience calling the hotline.
That's
So
good.
if you don't like the person you got, call back. So yeah, today I'm going to do things a little differently because I watched about probably 30 hours of content on this cult. Okay. First, I'm going to say allegedly a cult. I'm going to say everything in this is alleged and my opinions so that I do not get sued because the two are a little sue happy. But I'm protecting myself. Allegedly. Okay.
Well, that's how you'll know that you've made it if you get sued, I suppose.
They haven't won any lawsuits. They've just tried to sue people.
Right. So they just waste your resources and bog you down time wise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, doesn't everyone want to be a cult leader someday?
No? No.
Okay. So this cult, I only wrote down part of it because most of it I can say just conversationally, but I wanted to write down the backstory of the male leader of this organization.
Okay.
So it's called Twin Flames Universe and sounds great, right? Twin flames, love. It's just a
I was gonna
cult
say
of
it sounds like a
love,
dating app.
right? It kind of is,
Oh.
which we'll get into. But so this cult is still in existence. So I want to mention everything I'm going to say is alleged and my own opinion based on the documentaries and research I have done on this group and the leaders, which is a lot. It's been about 3 weeks of research. So
It has, yeah.
The couple behind Twin Flames Universe are Jeff and Shalea Devine. That is their name. And the reason they say they are not a cult is because they are a virtual group, but they definitely fit the bite model, as you will see through this episode, and they fit every category of what a cult or high pressure group are. They are a high control group with the same tactics as an in person cult, but the kicker is they are talking about bringing the group to a compound in person,
Oh, then it'll be full-fledged.
even though he's very adamant they're not a cult because they're not in person and they're only online. Um,
Okay.
but what is a twin flame and how is it different from a soulmate? Twin flames are two parts of the same soul. They are incomplete without each other and have a pull to one another and will find a way to be connected no matter what the barriers are in the way. And that will definitely come into play later. They say you may have a lot of soulmates out there, people who would complement you and you would get along with well, people who you could be happy with, but will never be complete because your other half to your soul is out there somewhere.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Jeff, born Jeffrey Ayan, I can never say names, so forgive me.
How's it spelled?
Ayan.
Ayan. Interesting. Yeah. Ian. Ian.
He
Ian.
he grew up in Michigan, to a working class parents and was baptized Greek Orthodox and then converted to Roman Catholic at 7 years old.
Okay.
He attended Catholic school from second to sixth grade when he transferred to public school, but he remained very ingrained in the Christian faith and had a passion for God. So he continued studying the Bible and stayed very connected to the Catholic Church. Later, he did become disassociated with the Catholic Church when they became adamantly against gay marriage. Jeff was very inclusive, and this felt extremely wrong to him. He says on his website that he believed people are not born as mistakes and they should be able to choose whoever they choose to love. That sounds great, right?
Right.
But this will morph and become problematic later on. Uh,
Yes.
Friends and family who knew him growing up said he was the class clown, loved attention, loved performing, which led him to the drama club, loved being on stage in the center of attention. He was very charismatic and was in love with love. He was a serial dater and seemed to always be in a relationship. Previous girlfriends have come forward saying he treated his girlfriends like a queen and he was very romantic. Like they didn't have anything bad to say about being in a relationship with him and how they were treated.
Okay.
Friends of Jeff's said he did not have a particular career goal when asked what he wanted to be when he grew up. His response alluded to wanting to make the maximum profit for the least effort and wanted to be self sustaining.
Okay. Wow.
He later went on to study business at Western University and he became very interested in personal growth after running across a self help website. He said this is where he realized you can change yourself and create your own reality and perceptions of the world around you. He says a holy fire was lit inside of him, and this brought him back to spirituality and found a spiritual guide, teacher, a guru, um, diving into the spiritual realm with a teacher brought him visions, that he says he was visited by angels that brought him a message straight from God. And this message was that Jeff's purpose is to bring people back to God. This brought him to tears, and he fully accepted this mission and purpose, vowing to dedicate his life to this.
Oh.
Yeah. The following fall, he sold all of his belongings,
Oh wow.
um,
Okay.
besides one backpack and some clothing, and moved to Northern California, where he studied yoga, dove deeper into spirituality, and wanted to also push his entrepreneurship and hoped to start his empire. So he's interesting.
He is.
He
Yeah.
started changing his name a lot. So he went by Ender Aenethos. He went by
Okay.
um, Jeff Aenethos, and then he just decided to go back by his name, Jeff, um, later on but he kept posting on social media. He would be like, "Oh well, I I will only go by this name now. This is my divine name. This is my one true name." And then he would change it again like a couple
He
weeks
would
later.
change, yeah, like me on TikTok.
Yeah. And be Santa. Um,
Hmm.
and so yeah, he did that. He then decided again, hey, I'm being called to move down to Hawaii. So he moved to Hawaii in a little shack, and he ended up renting it out as an Airbnb and living like outside, and like sleeping on the ground to save money. And so he would rent out the shack as and save money. But yeah. So
Okay.
so he got a little money coming in, doing that, and he was okay with being a minimalist, and he was very hippy dippy, had really long hair. Um, and then he went online and he was in some groups that were about spirituality and stuff, and he met Shalea, which before she was Shalea, her birth name was Megan Plant.
Okay. Megan Plant became Shalea.
Yes, and she grew up in so she grew up in Canada. She had her mom and dad, and her dad walked out on them.
Okay.
He called it long distance parenting.
That's a euphemism for
Hmm.
walking out, if I ever heard one.
Yeah, it was interesting. He
Yeah.
ended up starting a business, but he kind of started this business before he moved, and the business partner ended up being his wife when he moved to the States. So we don't know if he was already seeing this person and had planned this out or what, but
Okay.
he ended up having another family with this other person
As
and
one does, sure, yeah.
long distance parented.
Wow.
So she just had her mom for a long time, and the mom ended up getting cancer and passing away. Did not move in with the father, moved in with different family, where it's alluded to that she was being assaulted in that home.
Oof.
Um, she later on moved, I believe, to Arizona, going to school, and she became
Okay.
really into spirituality, and that's where she was living, I think, like on a couch. She didn't have anything to her name. He was like living in a shack, didn't have anything to his name. They met online.
I was gonna say, sounds they must be they sound like they're like around our age.
I think so,
Okay.
or a little
Yeah, because
younger.
wow, that's interesting to think of like cult like alleged cult leaders as being our age. I mean, that's
Because I think it was about
wow.
2012 when
Okay.
they started this grouping.
Grouping.
So they fell in love online, and he moved her out to Hawaii. But before that, he was very all about the fact that they're together. They are pulled to each other. They are destined to be together. And he's never felt anything like this. And they are perfect together. So they end up starting doing YouTube videos. He was already doing like a blog thing for his yoga and spirituality stuff.
Uh-huh.
But she was even more spiritual than him. And so he started learning from her. And then that's when they discovered the whole twin flames thing. That twin flame, they're like, we are twin flames. We are
Right.
two of the
So they
same.
themselves.
Yeah, we are
Okay.
supposed to be together. The world is going to bring us together. And now that we're together, and we're doing it correctly, we need to teach other people. And God, of
Uh,
course, told him this
of course, yes.
because he talks to God. So, um,
Of course.
So they start doing these YouTube videos talking about how twin flames can have challenges because you are basically the same person, and you end up usually butting heads at first, but once you learn to connect, because you're seeing in the other person what you don't like about yourself.
Okay.
So you learn and grow together to end up
Okay.
emulating what you want to see in the other person, so that you can see in yourself, and this comes into play later as well. You see in yourself, because you'll see in them what you don't like in yourself. So they call it
Okay.
mirroring. So you mirror each other. And so you learn that I need to change that in myself if I'm seeing it and not liking it in them.
Right.
So, which
Okay.
from a overview like that sounds great. Like, sure, that is what we
Sure.
should do. Usually in our child, we usually get along least with the child that's most like us because we see in them the things we don't like in ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing. So then they're doing these videos and stuff. People start flocking to them. They start getting thousands of views, then tens of thousands of views, and getting all of these subscribers. And they're realizing people really do like this, and they start making money off of like YouTube and stuff. So
Yeah.
they make that their job. So they're just making these videos. So then they start making a community of these people, and they're like, okay, God's telling me that I need to do like coaching with people and connecting people to each other and having people come to us so we can tell them how to get their significant other that they feel drawn to.
Right.
So they start charging for those classes, like one on one.
Of course.
Or group setting. So they had groups, and then they had like one-on-one coaching as well. There were different levels to like what you could buy into.
Uh-huh.
So they start doing these classes, and they're teaching them about um, basically you cannot give up on getting your twin flame. You have to do whatever you can. It doesn't matter if they're in another relationship. It doesn't matter if they don't want to see you. It doesn't matter if they like are pushing you away, because usually there's a chaser and there's a runner.
Oh boy.
And the people coming to them are usually the chasers, and they're going after the runners. And
But like I I thought that like they got together under really different circumstances.
mhm,
Like there wasn't chasing and running for them.
no,
They developed like they sound like they just got along really well
yeah,
and developed this theory.
that happens sometimes, but other times there's a runner and a chaser.
Oh, so they kind of
They're
played
more
off as like a
spiritual. They were ready.
they were ready. I see. So since they were ready and
Mhm.
others aren't,
Yeah,
that's problematic though.
yeah,
Being like, yeah, there's a chaser and a runner. Sometimes you got to chase your twin flame.
yep. Oh, there
Ugh.
were restraining orders that were put on these people. They were then
Yep.
told, "Oh, you can't let a piece of paper come between you and your twin flame. You need to keep going after them." Some of them
Oh
were
no.
arrested for
Mm,
stalking. Yeah.
okay.
And they were
This is
told, like,
already.
in the groups and stuff, they were like, "Okay, you need to text him, and you need to text him this. You need to text him that he needs to send you some nudes because he's gonna love that, and he's gonna text you back."
Wow. 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 Wow.
Mhm.
This is super problematic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking the
Really.
whole twin flame thing was at least going to be like charming or endearing, but no,
Some of them are.
no,
Some of them are where they came together. They're like, "Okay, we're twin flames. We're together. We wanna join this group together and learn how to do things better together." So
right,
some of
okay,
them were like that. Some of them were able to chase them into a relationship. But yeah, they were
yikes.
growing their numbers by people bringing people in. So they were like pushing them to bring more people in as their partner,
Mm-hmm.
to be a part of this thing, because they're divine by being these twin flames, and you're like the best power couple, and you're going to do everything amazing.
Mhm.
So, and that's what God wants for you. And you're going to be rewarded for being with your twin flame.
Yikes.
So this is going on for a while and it's growing and growing and growing.
Uh-huh.
And they end up having too many people to do these classes with. So they start trying to get coaches.
Okay.
And so they
So,
talk these,
yeah.
they say, so there was like some people in some of these documentaries, one of them was like a dancer, and she's like, they're like, what do you feel like your calling is? And like they recorded all of their sessions, and there's a bunch of them out there. You can watch their sessions that they did with people, and they are so crazy, like problematic,
Okay.
very problematic.
On YouTube?
But on YouTube and during the documentaries and stuff, they'll play some of them. But so this one in particular was the actual session that I saw, and she's
Hmm.
like, I want to be a dancer, I want to be on stage, and she's like, and I'm being accepted into like these programs and stuff, and that's what I want to do. They're like, no, you want to be a coach for Twin Flames Universe.
Oh, okay. So it was just basically like just telling them, no, 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 you're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
this.
That's what God wants you to do. You're gonna fail if you go on stage. You're not gonna be happy. This is what's gonna make you
Oh,
happy.
Jesus. Okay.
So finally, like she gets broken down and she's like, okay, fine, we'll be coaches, like her and her twin flame. Like any of their like success stories, they like try to make them be coaches. And they were like, you can keep all the profit from coaching. So they got to keep all the profit from coaching, but they had to buy the classes. So the classes are a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
They're all angel numbers. So it's like $777, $3,333, $8,888 for these sessions. And then it's per week. So I think it was like, depending on the level of class, like coaching you had, it
Hmm.
started at like 150 a month. And then it went all the way up to like 1,000 a month or something like that. That you're paying these coaches, depending on how much one-on-one time like you want.
So, so okay, so you would get your let's say you chase them down
Hmm.
and they acquiesce and they're like, all right, now you have to go with that person to a class with a coach,
Hmm.
and you potentially have to shell out thousands of dollars
Hmm. You have
to
to buy
do
the
that.
books. You have to buy the books. You have to buy the class, like the video classes. So they are the classes that
Hmm.
they used to do live with people. They recorded them and then you pay for them.
So it sounds exactly like the tapes that they did for Amway.
Oh,
You
this is an
got it.
MLM.
Oh yeah,
So
this is it.
then later
Uh-huh.
on, they start making all this money and stuff. The coaches need to bring in so many people to coach. So they're bringing in people.
Hmm.
They're making money and then they take that away and they start not paying them. They're doing it
Of
for free.
course.
All the coaching money is going to Jeff and Shalea, and they're getting all the money. So after they had gotten married, they changed their last name to Divine,
Of
by
course.
the
Yep.
way.
Hmm.
So they're Jeff and
Uh-huh.
Shalea Divine. Jeff gets a vision.
Oh, do tell.
So he has his long hair, a
Hmm.
beard. I'm Jesus. I'm the second.
Naturally,
I'm the
that's
second
the
coming.
logical conclusion.
I am Jesus. And if you question me, you're questioning Jesus. Hmm.
Of course.
So, one of their major coaching things, like I said, that mirror thing, is one chapter in their book, mind you, one little
Hmm.
chapter, but it's like the most important thing. And this is where the control comes in. So, you sit there and they'll make you do it on video, but you also do it in your room, you do it in the mirror, you do it everywhere. So, if someone is bothering you, if
Hmm.
you're really angry at someone because they're doing something, you're not angry at them, you're angry at yourself. So you
Okay.
change your words around. So you look in the mirror, look whatever. And at first you'll be like, I'll be like, I'm really angry at Jordan. Jordan is really annoying me. And then you change it around. I'm really angry at myself because I'm being annoying.
Okay.
I need to change what I am doing and I need to be less annoying and this is what I'm going to do. So you take all the blame for whatever anyone else does to you
Oh my God.
and you change it around every single time. And so if you're ever upset at Shalea and Jeff, you're upset at yourself. You're not upset at them.
Right.
So
So,
it's their way of being like, turn it around, do your mirror exercises, tell yourself you're mad at yourself and it's not us, it's you, and you're holding yourself back.
oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That's so problematic.
Yeah. And it's like you start out doing like usually doing the smaller coaching, you're paying less money. You're like, okay, I can afford 150 a month to get this coaching and feel better and stuff. And then they're like,
Okay. Yeah.
the next level is 250. And you're like, I can't afford that. And they're like, well, if it's important to you, you're going to find a way. And then they will
Right.
talk you through getting a credit card to pay for it. They'll help you go
Oh.
through like PayPal credit and figure out how to get a credit card. And yeah.
Oh my
But they
God.
also want you coaching. They want to bring you in as a coach and they want you coaching and taking up all your time coaching and not working because that's going to take up all your time and not making any money off of it.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're not making any money off the coaching,
When
but you're
the,
also paying for your own coaching
yeah,
in turn.
yep,
It's like the human centipede. It's just like,
hmm, yep.
who gets the benefit? The person in front.
So then people started having issues like finding their twin flame that were working really hard. And they were like, all of a sudden, Jeff has another vision. Everybody,
Ah,
everybody, come here. Come here. Has them all on a video chat thing, a Zoom meeting. I had a vision. From now on, all of your twin flames are going to already be in this group. And I will tell you who they are.
okay.
And mind you, 80% of the people who follow them are cis women who are straight. So he starts
Okay.
teaching that twin flames, there's a feminine and a masculine energy, but it's not necessarily in a feminine and masculine body
Mm.
yet.
Yet.
So first he's like, I have 7 new couples, 14 people. You and you are together, you and you are together, and like tells them in this like group call who the ones who were called to him are together. And he's like, this is magical. Like you have your twin flame. You now need to move to be near each other and like figure this out and make it work. And like
Whoa.
one of them in that group, the guy was like super aggressive and he would like assault her,
Jeez.
like physically like gave her a black eye and choked her. And they're like, well, what did you do to deserve that? Like, what did
Oh
you
my
do?
God.
What were you doing that would emulate him doing that to you?
Right. Of course. Why would I think it'd be any different
Yeah.
with Jeff
So
and Shillelagh?
Shillelagh.
Jesus.
But he also punishes Shalea.
Jeff does.
Yes. And he's like,
Oh.
this is what discipline looks like. Because he tells her like to shut up and stuff. He gets like this power trip. And it's just like, okay, well, if you're telling her to shut up and you're being angry towards her, are you angry towards yourself?
Right. I think that's on you, Jeff.
Oh, so then like people, so one of them comes to them, the girl who the partner is, one of the girls whose partner is very abusive,
Hmm.
comes to them and he's like, well, you're emulating that same thing to us right now because you're being very hostile. And she's like, no, I'm not. I am not that way. And he just starts laughing at her. Like, yes, you are. You just don't see it. You need to go do your
Oh
mirror
my God.
exercises.
So he's completely lost the plot. Like
Hmm.
this Jeff guy's like just in a chamber of his own farts. Just
Yeah.
Jesus.
So during this time, like while this is going on, they move out of Hawaii and move back to, where was he? Michigan,
Hmm.
I think, or Nebraska. They moved to one of those two. They moved to the States and
Just
they are living with his friend. And he's like, the friend was on one of these documentaries And he
Mm.
was like, this was, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, he's like, I'm doing the self-help stuff and like, you need to get into this and like, this is what's going on. And starts saying he's like the second coming and all this stuff. And he's like, you gotta get out. You gotta go.
Yeah, sorry, Jesus. I need the room for the night for someone not
Yeah.
out
Um,
of it.
so but they're making all this money and so they end up like moving into a house and as soon as they're getting money they're like buying all these nice cars and showing them off. Like they're not even
Hmm.
like trying to hide it.
Well,
They're
of
like,
course. Yeah.
this God has brought us all of this stuff. Like here is
This
my
is
Corvette and here is my like
it's literally Amway with a love, like a just a like
mhm.
a special chapter on love. Like this is
Yeah.
literally Amway.
Yeah, they had one video
Jesus.
where they're like doing their YouTube video and they're like, we woke up this morning and checked our bank account, and we're not just millionaires. We are multimillionaires. And like they don't even like try to hide it from these people that they're using who are like doing these classes for free for them and not making any money.
I was gonna say, like, what is in it for the members? Just to
Love,
have their twin flame. That's it.
and you're following
I
Jesus. You're
like. I don't
you're a
know. I don't want to say like
disciple.
that's it. Like, because obviously love is
Yeah.
important. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love somebody and it's really nice, and like I like that, and I like that a lot. I would do a lot for that person, but like for these people to join this group for that express intention, but to not make any, like, there's no room for advancement, and your leaders are basically like, oh, look at us.
Yeah.
I'm the second coming of Christ, and I'm also a multimillionaire.
Mhm.
Like, what is this?
It's
This
so
is
true. And like they have
this
a
is
Facebook
fucked.
group for people
Mm-hmm.
and they'll kick you out as soon as there's anything negative that you say or questioning them or
Oh, of
th-
course, yeah.
they even wrote one like post one of the leaders did one of the I don't know the teachers
Mm-hmm.
and they were like or coaches, sorry, coaches. They're
Coaches.
like, if you have any questions about anything going on, feel free to comment it here and we will respond to you. And that was kind of
Oh,
like trying to weed people out because they just
I
blocked a
was
whole
gonna
bunch of
say,
people.
yeah, it sounds like that's just a weeding technique. And like,
Mhm.
I want to see, like, because we've talked about this before. Like, I get it that, if you want to find love, and like, I think it's a basic human need that we
Mhm.
all kind of have in some way, shape, or form, is that need to be felt like you are wanted or needed, or any of those feelings. Like, you want, like, obviously we want love, but for these people to prey on that and to suck people in with the thought of like finding your
Mhm.
twin flame, your soulmate, your whatever you want to call it, like, that is so underhanded. That's
And now
such
the only way to find a twin flame is to be in this group and have them tell you who it is.
like, and that's like, what?
So, like I said, 80% of them were cis straight women. So there was this one girl in the group that like she was living with her mom and she was like coaching and she was hardcore in this. She didn't have her twin flame yet. Like she was just like going through the motions and she's like, it'll come to me because I'm part of this.
Right.
And she comes to her mom one day and she's like, I just want you to know I found my twin flame. And it was a woman. And she's like, are you a lesbian? She's like, no. She's like, so what's going on? Well, that's my twin flame. Like, I can't, we don't get to choose who that is for us. Like, it just so happens that that's my twin flame and that's who I'm connected to. So here's the kicker that ends up
Mm-hmm.
going even more. So they will tell in like a same sex group, they will tell one of them, you're the masculine energy and you need to start emulating that.
Okay, so they're just forcing people to.
There are so many trans men in this group. They're told to get
Okay,
on hormones, they're told to get surgery, they're told to like do all this stuff to emulate that they are the masculine in this relationship.
that is so not. No.
Hmm. Like if you go on their website,
Mm-hmm.
and you see their testimonials, a whole bunch of them are trans men. I discovered that I was a trans man and I've never been happier since then. And I'm like,
I mean, I have to imagine like there's probably at least a few that were probably actually trans men, like that were probably headed towards that path
mm-hmm.
and are probably super happy now. But I can't imagine that all of them are that are success stories like that. That cannot be. It just you that's not how that works. You
Mm-mm.
don't just like get into like a forced relationship with somebody and then be like, okay, now you're got to act like a dude and you got to act like the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not. And this is just a person picking. This is just
Yeah.
Jeff going, okay, you two are together.
Yeah.
Ah, like, and I'm surprised that it's so heavily cis women. I can't talk. Like, I would think like something like this would snatch a lot of lonely cis dudes. You would just think that
Yeah.
this is
Because
just
if
a
you're a dude, you're going to be matched up with a woman because there's so
right.
many
You
of
would think
them.
like
Yeah.
this is a cis dude magnet. So to find out that it's actually not a cis dude magnet, but a cis
Mm-hmm.
female magnet, like
Yeah.
what? And then to force them to be trans
Mm-hmm.
for their partner, like what are you like? You're literally playing like a godlike figure, and
Mm-hmm.
that's dangerous.
It's so much control. And it's
I
proof
can't
to him that he has that control.
right because I can't imagine all of these are success stories. Like obviously,
Mm-mm, but they
there's
don't
got to
talk
be.
about those. They
Oh
don't
no,
talk
of
about
course not.
those. And it's your fault. It's your
If
fault
you
if it's
can't,
not a success story because that means
right?
that you weren't doing your mirror exercises. You chose to like disengage from that relationship and
Mm-hmm.
you destroyed it.
So imagine there's not only do you have that happening now, but now you have these failure stories that
Hmm.
include detrans men. I'm assuming because there has to be some that have like been like,
Yep.
fuck this is not for me, and then they
Hmm.
detrans, and then they probably become bitter at the entire trans community. Like, I'm not saying every one of them or that I have any information on any of that, but like I can't imagine this doesn't happen.
Oh no,
This,
it does. Yeah.
but like these failures.
But it's hard to get out of it once you've already done all of that because
Oh,
then
of
in order to
course,
get out, you're going to have to like either live life as a man now or detransition and be
right?
rejected by both the trans community and the cis het community. And
Yeah,
so it's they really make it so that you like especially the women and being like okay well now you're with another woman and then that woman's going to transition. You're a lot of these women's families are like that were like conservative or whatever, they're never going to take them back.
never. And like I can't imagine that there aren't stories of you know leaving this mortal coil because of your situation. So I only frame it that way because of obviously what happened with Heaven's Gate
Yeah.
in talking about it. But like this is not only is it sad, but it's also dangerous. It's
Hmm.
also like this person, these
Oh,
people are
they have people who have unalived themselves
right.
because they couldn't get that person and they blamed themselves and everything they put back on themselves and blame themselves for everything that was wrong in their life and people harming them. That's my fault. And so it's the exact opposite of what these people need, which is therapy. And neither of these people have a degree in therapy, like
Right.
any sort of mental health.
And like even if they did, or even if they, we could say, oh, maybe they don't need a degree, but like these people are not. No, they're playing God. They're,
Hmm.
and I'm not saying like that we can't, you shouldn't believe things like twin flames or soulmates, but like people have talked about this before and like been like, for every one person in this world, someone did the math one time. For every one person, there's like 27,000 potential possible people that you might be compatible with. The problem is, of course, just the way the world is laid out and where most people live, a lot of them are not very close to you
Yeah.
and probably speak a different language. And there would be so many differences that you may never honestly meet that person. So like I think it's dangerous to put a lot of stock into a twin flame, like only one other
One,
person in this one person, and this person only exists inside this group.
which it didn't used to, but now it does.
Exactly. And to have it, and like I can see how like you would, how that would be enticing to be like, oh wow, my person might be in this, is very much so in this group. I just have to do the work. I have to
Mhm.
do the work. They have to do the work, because I think people have a very fucked up understanding of how, excuse me, how attraction works and how relationships work. And I think a lot of people just like people for very arbitrary reasons. Like
Mhm.
they're just, maybe they like their body or something, and they feel like, oh, if this person would just, if we could just have a conversation, they would like me and they would find out that I'm a great person and they would fall in love with me. And I think maybe that's the attraction to something like this. It's just like that thought that like, you know, I might like this person for arbitrary reasons, but if they would just have a conversation with me, like I'm
And I'm gonna force it.
gonna force it, and they're gonna force it too because they're also in this group with me, and we're both gonna force it, and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
That is so dangerous. That's not okay.
Mm-mm.
You shouldn't be preying on people on their desire to not be alone
Yeah.
in this world,
But you know
because
how,
that's strong.
yeah. And you know how in cults things change. We have another
Yeah,
change.
I can. Oh, okay,
So Jeff and
hit me.
Shalea don't just have each other as twin flames, they have one more.
Of course.
But it's not who you think it is. This twin flame will be their child.
Where are we going, Tyler? I don't know. I want to go down this road.
No matter what, God came and told Jeff, no matter what, this child's name is going to be Grace and it's going to have feminine energy.
Okay.
So they start trying to have a baby. I believe she has a miscarriage. Um,
Oh, jeez.
and then she does end up getting pregnant and they had a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby was born April 2023, and her name is Grace Violet Divine, and she's the third twin flame in the group. And because of this, because they are the twin flames to this child, and that child does not have another twin flame, the child will be celibate.
Okay. I can handle celibacy. I mean, I'm not saying like obviously they shouldn't choose for. I mean, because this child is going to grow up and be their own person,
Mm-hmm.
and hopefully they don't subscribe to this. But like, I really thought this was going to go a much darker place.
Thankfully, no, but
Yet it hasn't
yet,
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 since 2023 was last year. I mean, well, April
yeah,
last year, was
she's
last year. So like,
almost a year old.
yeah, she'll be, yeah. But like, I hope it doesn't go there with Jeff suddenly being like, oh, this is my concubine, because it
Yeah,
hasn't yet. And like you said, like celibacy, great, okay. Well, so in compared to the that alternative, um, was Grace actually born?
I don't know.
Okay,
They say a girl was born,
so
but
we
they
don't know for
already had
sure.
said that it would have feminine energy. So I don't know if it's for sure its sex is female or not,
Right.
but they say it's a girl and her name is Grace Violet Divine.
Okay.
I hope it's, I hope.
Right. And I know this is such a tricky avenue to explore and to hope, but like in a case like that,
They're not
I
getting to
hope
make
that
their own decision. Like
they're
it's,
not making they're actively not making their own decision, and I hope that they agree completely with whatever
mm-hmm,
they grow up into,
yeah.
and there's no dysphoria there, because that would,
Yeah.
yikes, of course, now we have to get kids involved, of course. What
Mm-hmm.
about other people's kids, like other people's other twin flames kids? Any?
They're just in the group. They're not
Okay, but
each
they're not like
other's.
the dibs of Jeff or any other.
No, no.
Okay.
And like I said, it was all virtual. So like these couples live all over the world.
Right.
Um, and they're together in their area of the world, but Jeff is wanting to create that compound where everyone lives, which will have even more control if that
I had
comes to
forgotten.
fruition.
Right. I had forgotten too about that aspect of it where
Mhm.
these twin flames, not only are these people changing, genders forcibly
They have to move.
for, but they're also moving.
Hmm.
And I don't know how
They're
they're
uprooted from
deciding.
their families. They're,
Right. I don't know who's deciding who moves where, or why, or how,
I'm pretty sure
but
the
like,
feminine moves to the masculine. I'm pretty sure
of
it was how it
course,
is.
of course, it's got to be sexist like that. But like,
Hmm.
that's so much. That is
Yeah.
so. And to like I said before, like to prey on someone's desire to not be alone. Like, I think that's even more sinister than the prey on someone's desire to be successful.
Yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, whether or not we're successful financially, like we still desire to have a person, not necessarily like, because I know the way they worded it was like someone that completes you, which I
Hmm.
think is problematic in and of itself. Trying to, but like, which he probably just stole from the movie Jerry Maguire, the whole "you complete me" thing. But
Yeah.
like, that's problematic in and of itself. But like, yeah, just to like to 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 manipulate people based on love, like that is so sinister. Because
So they do live in Michigan. Their net worth
mm-hmm.
is estimated at 5 million, but could be higher right
Oh, it's got to
now.
be higher. It's got to be. I'm sure. I mean, you figure. I don't know how many members
They
do we know?
spend so much money though.
Oh, okay.
So they spend money like crazy. And so it's
Well, yeah, like you said,
possible.
they have a lavish lifestyle, so I'm
Hmm.
sure they're probably not very cash rich, but asset.
Because cars depreciate as soon as you drive them off the lot. So that's
Uh
not an
huh.
asset.
Exactly. I just, oh, it breaks my heart because like I know we've spoken before about how easy it is to get drawn into cults.
Hmm.
And no matter what that draw might be, or the draw might be where, you can live a life of anonymity where you don't have, you can let go of everything that's been in your life before. Um, or it could be money, but like love especially just seems so sinister. It just seems especially sinister because that's such a huge part of the human condition.
Yeah.
Like to have to be partnered.
Hmm.
If you want to be part, obviously I know that there are people out there in this world who are fine on their own and don't necessarily want another person.
But like genetically, we're kind of predispositioned to it. I feel like with the
Yeah,
overpopulation in the world, that's changing. Genetically, I feel like that's changing, where it's optional and not so much like this huge pull to like procreate
right.
because there's too many people. But
Yeah,
and that's bound to happen genetically to like we don't need 20 children anymore. Now we were having two and now we're not having any sometimes. So
right.
um so I feel like that was naturally bound to happen. But yeah, it's definitely preying on what we're taught growing up, what is in every movie, what is in every book, what is in our lives. Cause I mean, we all have parents, most of us.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, we all were conceived some way, shape, or form. So yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but yeah, you're right. It's ingrained in everything, especially the very. I mean, it's the very cornerstone of heteronormativity
Hmm.
is to find a wife or a husband, have children, grow old, and die. Like that's kind of. I mean, obviously, there's more to it than that, but yeah, like it's so ingrained in literally everything to the point where you have like parents and teachers who ask kindergartners like, oh, is that your boyfriend or is that your girlfriend? Like we're introducing the concept to like 5-year-olds and being like, oh, is that your boyfriend, girlfriend? And then like
Who don't even have the hormones for that yet.
have
Like,
no idea what you're talking about, and they're just like, yeah, sure, why not? Okay, and then you just kind of you're ingrained in that, and you're just, and it's not happening for you, be
Mm-hmm.
it whatever, like I remember looking on the dating apps before I stopped doing that. It was just so hopeless because like you see all these people on these dating apps. Like, this is what I saw, this is my experiences as someone who identified as a cis male, like before realizing that I wasn't. But like, as a cis male on an app, like, you have all these people who want you to be the breadwinner.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for a husband for the kids they might already have. They're looking for someone who they consider has their shit together. So they
Mm-hmm.
think that, that means like, you have to have a good job, you have to be successful, you have to have your own house. Like, which sounds like I'm making it sound like cis men have it rough. No, but at least from the aspect of finding a partner, I think yes, we have overcomplicated it in so much that we require our partners to have these things. But I think a lot of it too comes from experiences where people have had partners that don't have these things and actively are a parasite on the existing resources. So like, okay, I get that exists. And that's definitely out there. And there's a lot of that. And you see a lot of people who are very jaded from having experienced only that.
Yeah.
And people who just want a good time, and then that's it. They're not actually looking for anything heavy. But yeah, it's scary out there. And to have like this potential path that's just like, hey, join us, give us a shit ton of money, and this is gonna be your
You'll have
person.
that. You'll have it.
Right. You're gonna have this person. So if you're rich, fine, okay, it's some money, but like other people, like that's a struggle. That's their life savings. That's whatever that could
Mm-hmm.
be that they are now spending to do this, and potentially coming up empty handed.
Like, would you pay $150 a month to know for sure you are with the person who would complete you and you would complete them and you'll be happy together?
I don't think I would, because like, I mean, like the person I'm with, like I already am those things. Like, I already know, like I can feel it in my bones. I don't need Jesus to tell me, hey, you know what? That
But if
person's good
you
for you.
but if you didn't and it was guaranteed, like if it was a legit thing, you knew it was guaranteed
Right.
and
Yeah.
you would find that person.
I mean, yeah, I could see myself being motivated. I mean, and I think that's why you see that to a lesser degree with people buying and paying money on these dating apps now, because like, and I know there's like
Mhm.
a class action lawsuit against a bunch of the dating apps
Because their
because like,
algorithms were so funky and like you had to pay more money to actually have like the people and be able to see them
yeah,
and yeah.
like it was, yeah, people started realizing, wait a minute, you're not actually in this to have people find each other. You're in this to make money, which like,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a little underhanded, it's very underhanded. Like, yeah, so I mean, like, have I paid money before for dating apps, or to have like the gold features or whatever? Like, yeah, I did it before, absolutely.
Or to go to an event to find somebody like a speed dating or something
Right.
like
And what
that.
happens, like, people do these things, they fail. I'm not saying they personally fail, but they don't,
Mm-hmm.
they haven't found someone, or they go on dates and the dates are terrible or whatever. So
And who do
they've
they
spent,
blame? Who do they blame? They blame themselves.
yeah. Or they'll just say, like, you have these dating apps, whatever, like, yeah, this is their fault. But then like suddenly Jesus comes along and says, hey, you pay me X amount of dollars a month starting at this level.
Mm-hmm.
Here's your twin flame. Like, this is guaranteed. You're gonna find, So it's like, okay, well, it's a lot of money up front, but it gets me out of the dating game.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, like, thinking about being like, that was one of the things I think about being on dating apps that was the most daunting, is like the just actually being there and having to have all those mindless conversations with random people that you have nothing in common with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like to think like, oh, I could avoid that in the future and just do this. Like, yeah, especially in the 2010s and the 2020s now, where we are, where online dating and meeting people online is not as unheard of as it was in the 90s,
Yep.
or as like especially COVID. Like once COVID happened, like I mean, how else are you going to meet people?
Hmm.
So like, yeah, it's super enticing to think like, yeah, I could join this thing, and this person who presumably cares about who I end up with is going to give a damn about who they pick for me when it's actually just arbitrary. Like I can't imagine what kind of a thought process he uses here for. And I'm assuming it's him and not both. I'm assuming it's just him.
It's him. I don't know if they both make the decision together, but he's the one who announces it, and she like
Okay.
nods her head a lot.
Okay. Well, yeah, she sounds very much so like um the supportive forced support kind of.
They're both very manipulative. They're both very much into the money making and the coaching and all of that, and the classes and
Mhm.
all of that. But I think that he makes the decisions for what is told to everybody.
Right. It just makes me consider myself very, very fortunate that, you know, I found somebody who's pretty nifty, and
Nifty thrifty.
they're nifty, thrifty, and I don't have to potentially, worry about that.
I
And that
was
feels nice.
ghosted so much on dating apps too.
You, like, I can't imagine you being ghosted of all people.
I think
Like,
that it was post COVID
mhm,
or during. And I think that everyone got this social anxiety that like you have good intentions to go do something and meet up with somebody, and then you're like, oh shit, now I actually have to do it today.
right. Well, yeah, yeah, COVID definitely didn't help my hermit capabilities.
Yeah.
But
Like
as
even on Friend, like the BFF Bumble and the
mhm,
friend dating on Facebook, like they have the friend thing.
yeah,
Even on those, it's like I still like get ghosted on those. Like just they'll be talking to me and then we go to make plans and then they stop talking like a week before the plans.
yeah. I've definitely worried about that in my life, myself ghosting people. But like after having driven 15 hours to go see my special person, I can say that yeah, that would never happen. I think
You're not a ghost.
I'm not a ghost. No, like that's I think that counts as dedication.
Yeah.
Dedication to the cause. I mean, they're pretty worth it.
Are
They're
they?
I think they're pretty worth it. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a pretty lucky Zoe, let me tell you. Because they are the bee's knees. They are literally every joint on a bee's body.
Th-
That's how
Do,
cool they are.
do they have more joints than knees?
I would think so.
Do
They got
they?
little arms.
Those are legs too.
We would call them their arms, though. Like with the elbows. You're the bee's elbows. You're the bee's knees.
Bees knees. The cat's meow.
Yeah, So, yeah, I think so.
I think my anxiety, I
Yeah.
understand why people would ghost other people.
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't been a ghoster, but I get it. And I definitely get to the point where, like, shit, I'm supposed to go hang out with somebody and I really don't want to because now I'm like in my bed and I'm happy here and I don't want to go outside.
Yes. Yeah. No,
I just want
that
to watch Star Wars.
that's happened. I've definitely felt that exact same feeling where it's like, yeah, I'm talking to this person, but like I feel that might be too like that I'm just like you're not feeling it as much as maybe you might have been potentially. I don't know, because I guess every situation's different, every person's different. But like, no, I've definitely felt that before. Where it's like I don't want to do this. I don't want to go do this. I don't want to go talk
It's
about
more
myself.
leaving the house than anything.
I could see that. Yes, it's leaving the house.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
It's just like, especially in the winter though. Like for me, I'm like, I don't
exactly.
want to get cold to go outside. And
Oh, I know. It's so
thankfully,
much fun.
I have teenagers that can turn my car on and warm it up for me.
Yeah, you do. That's very nice of them. But yeah, I get it. I get it. I've definitely ghosted people before. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I haven't. It's yeah, sometimes you just get overwhelmed with whatever it could be.
Mhm.
You
I've
know, maybe
canceled plans. I have canceled plans many a time. For me, the issue is when they just don't say anything and
yeah,
they just stop talking.
I've never done that. I've just gotten so overwhelmed that I'm just like, I can't. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be
Yeah.
able to. And then
You should have done that sometimes.
what, cancel?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in the end it worked out for me. I'm like I said,
No, I'm
I'm
saying there were things you did that you should have canceled.
oh, what are you trying to say? Like I shouldn't have gone on my 15-hour drive? Oh my
No,
gosh.
that's not what I'm
I know, I'm
saying.
joking.
You, I hope you know what I'm talking about.
I don't. What if I should have
Got
canceled?
pizza.
Oh, yes, thank you. But
Yes.
that wasn't dating.
No, not
That's what I was
dating. I
thinking.
said even
I know.
friendship stuff.
Friendships. Yeah. No, I wasn't I was thinking dating strictly. Yeah. Yeah, there's times I wish I wasn't such a people pleaser, but sometimes
I used
you
to be
are.
that person and I still am sometimes, but I used to be that person and I'll help you be assertive. Because what we're
Mhm.
afraid of being aggressive, but assertive isn't aggressive.
You're right. And you were recently assertive, and I'm over the moon for you
Thank
because
you.
I think that was great for you.
And
Honest to goodness.
I have my papers right here about the difference between passive, aggressive, and assertive.
Hmm.
And I
And you were
realize how much in the passive section I was for a long time and how much I'm getting into the assertive section and that I don't really have anything in the aggressive section.
no, you
And
don't. You're not.
so,
Mm-mm.
yeah, so it makes me feel good seeing it because you feel aggressive when you're not used to being assertive.
Right.
And so it feels aggressive to say no without giving an excuse or giving a reason. You don't have to all the time. You can say no.
Right. Right. And that's pivotal. Like, honest to goodness. Like, I know we've switched a little, but yeah, you're right. Like the situation you were
Therapy.
talking about. But yeah, but the situation you were talking about, I finally was, and I was just like,
You
no,
were. I was
I'm
proud of
not.
you.
I'm not doing this. I'm going home. I'm not. I abstain from the this tomfoolery, and I
Tomfoolery.
don't need a reason. I'm
No.
just I want out. Get me out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, that's important. I think, yeah, especially when you end up with someone who is allegedly your twin flame that may not be anyone you're actually remotely compatible with.
Oh my
Like
gosh, right? And
I
you're like
cannot
giving into
imagine.
everything because you don't want to be looking at yourself that you're doing something wrong. So you just give into whatever that other person wants.
Right. Like, I'm not saying that relationship should be free of any type of, you know, not even disagreements, but like, I think relatively speaking, things should just kind of click together like Legos. It shouldn't be
Sometimes it's a little hard to fit the piece in, or you put it
right.
in the wrong spot, but you'll get there.
But in the end, like the piece does go there. It's
Yeah.
not like you're not like forcing a piece to go where it doesn't belong. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so often that's what people are doing is they're just forcing these pieces in, and it's just like that doesn't look right. You didn't make what you thought you made. You know, this is not a Death Star you've made. You've made something very different from a Death Star. So
That piece seems really mean to that other piece.
right, but yeah, like I feel like when you are like when something is good, like it just should like it should just kind of work out on its own very easily. And I'm not saying you don't have to put work into it or effort or you just rest on your laurels, but like you have a good time doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a fun time putting together that Lego set. It should not be strife and animosity and forcing pieces where they don't go or yelling at the pieces for potentially being missing when they're right under your nose. Like,
Yeah, you should be putting them in together.
yeah, have Get yourself a partner who can tell you that they need a thingamadoodle and you know exactly what that thingamadoodle is. And let me tell you, dear listener, I have a person like that, and I am very fortunate.
I need a spaceship.
You know, the thing for the phone.
I need. I forget what the other pieces were that I was saying.
It was so
Uh,
many. I know
yeah,
you're,
there are so many. I'm like looking at it right now.
it was so intricate, 10 different bags. But yeah, like, get
And then there were
yeah.
bags in the bags.
So there's your top tip. It shouldn't be that hard. If you're good with somebody, it should come pretty naturally. Like, I'm not saying that we don't go into relationships with trauma that we need to work on, or that you shouldn't have to work on yourself for things to work with a person. Like, no, you definitely have to keep working on yourself, and there are things in life that that are going to come your way that you're going to have to work on again or all over, and that's fine. But like, it shouldn't not everything shouldn't be a constant fight. It shouldn't be Fight should be a foreign thing to you, because you should be able to communicate. And why are we well, I don't know why I got on, because I've been drinking alcohol while you were drinking Sprite.
This is therapy with Tyler and Jordan.
Yeah, welcome to
Join
Jordan Drinks the
twin
Cocktail. And
join Twin Flames Cocktails and Cults. Our classes are only $6.66.
oh yes. But
Join
no,
our
so I'm sorry.
Patreon.
I start, sometimes I'll have a little bit to drink, and we're talking about relationships, and I just thought about how fortunate and how lucky I am, and about the person I love and care for deeply, and it got me excited, and I just got excited. And what
What a
can I say?
lucky Zoe.
I know I'm very lucky.
Oh, you should do a poetry reading.
Should I? No, that's how you lose every listener. I did write a poem for them too.
Yeah, you should vote if you want to hear the poem.
Yeah. No, my God.
Oh.
I did.
Oh, you're funny.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the veal.
Yeah. Talk about some traumatized humans. So
The cows? The baby
cows.
cows?
Oh, baby cows. Oh, I forgot to take you to see the mattress barn. That's actually a barn.
Oh, well, 30 days.
30 days.
Mm-hmm.
As September.
April, June, and November.
How many times are we going to do this today?
I know. We're just going to keep doing it. But
this is our third episode we've recorded today, by the way. Two of them are Patreon episodes that we are still trying to find a name for, where we review
movies.
interesting movies.
You really should become a patron, just so you can listen.
Bottom tier, $3, you still get the episodes. You don't get the extra bonus episodes, but you get a weekly episode that's only for Patreon. So I added that to all the tiers, and then we'll do some extra episodes that the top 3 tiers get. They got $3 a month. And honestly, I know people who are like, I don't want to join because that seems like a ridiculously small amount of money to like support you. I mean, if you want to give more, sure. But $3 a month, 10 of you at $3 a month pays for 2 of my subscriptions that I need to run the podcast. So honestly, like having 10 people in the $3 a month tier, first of all, it shows me that 10 people are actually like caring. And on top of that, it's not a small amount to us. So it really does help and supports the podcast. And so we wanted to give. I have burping from my Sprite, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, from your Sprite.
But it really does give the opportunity for us to expand and grow. And there's a couple of things I need to purchase so that my mic will work.
I promise you, Tyler has so many good ideas that,
Yeah.
but you are helping realize these ideas, and they're great ideas. And it's totally a worthwhile cause.
And we will put out an episode. We will watch a movie and put out an episode on here so you can see what it is we do and how
Mhm.
fun it is and that you can get on board. But I post on Instagram before it comes out, because it comes out on Sundays on the Patreon. Before it comes out, and we spoil it for you so you can watch the film too. So we did The Ramen Girl first, and then oh shoot, I don't remember what the second one is.
Oh,
I'd have to
oh,
look.
was it mid? No, wasn't Midsummer.
Was it?
I don't.
No, I don't think
Was it old?
so. It might have been old. I can tell
I
you
feel like
actually.
old. I feel like old was one of our first, like definitely in the first group of
Uh,
movies,
let's see here.
because that was last Thursday or last Tuesday that we recorded that one. I remember that we watched it together. We did a lot of recording last week.
4 is old. 3. Okay, I think we're
Oh,
alone now. That's 2.
I think we're alone now. Yes.
3 is Midsummer, 4 is old, and 5 is Rabid. And then we did 2
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yep.
So
I
we're
think
out
we're
quite a bit
alone
with
now.
those. So you'll have them for a while, even if I get sick again.
Which we don't want to have happen.
But honestly, these are fun to record even when I'm not feeling well. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get to watch a movie together.
Yeah. Which is honestly the best part of my day usually. So
We should do that now.
yeah, we should. We actually should.
I have time
Ooh, okay.
before I have my meeting with my 12-year-old and then 2 for ones.
Yes, you have a busy night.
Uh, where I'll wear my stockings again for you all. People seem to like that. I got a $10 tip on a picture of my stockings
You know what? Yeah.
from a lady.
Well, come
From a
let
lady.
me know when you get a $20 tip for having nice legs, okay? That because that's where I'm at currently.
I love it.
Still. Nice legs. I'm like, thank you. I do have nice legs.
I've never gotten a tip on my website saying it's because I have nice legs. So if someone wants to do that, you sure can.
Hey, you know
But
what? The moment is
I'd
now.
I'd rather you be on Patreon, everybody. So because I get more money from the money from Patreon than I do from the website.
Right.
They only
Yes.
take 8% on Patreon. They take 20% on the website.
20%.
20%.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah.
Well, this has been Twin Flames, allegedly. Allegedly.
Allegedly. So
Twin
yes, like,
Flames.
subscribe, share, do all the things in all the places, and join our Patreon to get our extra episodes. It's worth it.
It's
You
totally
get
worth it.
like 4 episodes for $3 a month.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Plus, there's more on there already. So you'll get all the ones that are already on there. And then you also get the episodes early and ad free in audio.
mm-hmm.
I have not been able to afford video yet because I think it's $40 a month or $60 a month for me to be able to post the videos ad free on there.
But you know, I'm okay with it being audio only because good grief.
Vimeo is what I have to
Vimeo.
use. And for me to be
Yeah.
able to do large files and have the backups of the large files on there, it costs like, I think it's $40 or $60 a month.
Jesus.
So I feel bad not having video on there, but I can't
That's okay.
afford it
It's good
yet.
for it's good for being in the car, right? You know?
Mhm. But YouTube for video.
Yeah, for everything that's not Patreon exclusive.
Hmm.
You can see my face, which is it's a face,
I
and
have a face.
you do have a face and a Marceline tattoo. Um,
She's holding Hambo.
yeah, wondering why her dad stole her fries. Ate his fries. Ate
I
her
should
fries.
I should get a tattoo of some fries. I should get like items too, not just the characters that remind me of
You
the.
should. Yes,
Should I get the fries in my armpit?
you should get the fries in your armpit.
Armpit fries.
Armpit fries.
I
I
don't
love it.
I don't know if I can go through the pain of an armpit
Okay,
tattoo.
I mean that's fair. That yeah, that feels like it'd be excruciating. So
Although I could get Brad. Or a peach pit.
oh my god. Wait a minute, I was thinking Brad from the movie we just watched, but
Oh no, Brad Pitt.
that makes more sense to me because I was thinking Brad, the brother in the movie Teeth, and I was like, what?
That name does not suit him.
I mean, he is a Brad
He's like a Sid.
character. Chad.
Doesn't he remind you of Sid from Toy Story?
Oh yeah, yeah, I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I see it.
He definitely took heads off of dolls.
Oh, he did. He definitely did. No, you're right.
All right. Well, we love you all
We love you.
and have a good evening and a juice box and a cookie.
Thank you, Landon.
I did Shannon first and then
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. No, I'm just kidding. If I
Here's
don't
the
see you
thing.
tomorrow, if I don't see you tomorrow morning, have a good morning. If I don't see you tomorrow afternoon, have a good afternoon. And remember, no, I'm just kidding.
Have a
I'm kidding.
hug, a juice box, and a
And
cookie.
a cookie. It's not that Shannon or Landon will ever hear that. So
And follow Shannon and Landon.
there you go on TikTok.
Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
Crows out.